Hello there everybody, it's Jacob and Cosmo from Storyhouse here, and we are so excited to bring you this week's video all about fire safety. Now, fire can be our friend. It can heat our homes, like in this lovely fireplace here. It can be used for cooking, like these pizzas. Oh, pizza. Oh, sorry. And also, yeah, it can be used for this, I suppose, as well. Can we go back to the pizza shop? Oh, that looks good. But fire can be really dangerous too. So it is so important that we show it the respect that it deserves. For example, this person is being very irresponsible around fire. And me and Cosmo are not very impressed at all. So, how do you think this person could show fire more respect? Yes, the obvious thing is not to touch the naked flame. But what else can we do to practice good fire safety when we are using birthday candles? The first thing we can do is stay away from them as much as possible. Let a responsible adult place them and light them if they put them in a cake. It's also really important not to touch them or move them once they have been lit, because it can be really dangerous. Also, let them cool after they've been blown out, because they can still be really hot straight afterwards. If you're celebrating something and it's your job to blow out the candles, whatever you do, don't get too excited and get too close, because they're really hot and they could really hurt your face. Okay, here's our first mini task, and what I would like you to do is grab a pen or pencil and something that you can write on. I'd like you to write a note as if you're going to give it to the person who was putting their finger over that flame before. And I'd like you to give them some advice. Tell them what they should and shouldn't do when they are around birthday candles. When you have finished, you can restart the video and me and Cosmo will be here with some more exciting things to do. Okay, Cosmo, I think we've learned quite a lot about candle safety, and that's fantastic, but there's more to know. Do you think you could put on your detective costume for us and do some more research? There's a cod treat in it for you.
Well, I'd do anything for a cod treat. Detective Cosmo here, reporting for duty. I've been doing my research and I found out all about fire safety. Fire is very hot and can move really quickly. But fortunately, there are lots of things that we can do in our homes to prevent it from starting in the first place. More of that later. But first, what is fire? It takes 3 things to start a fire. Heat, something that can get hot. Fuel, something that will burn. And oxygen, the air that is all around us. This is our fire triangle. A fire needs to have all sides of the triangle joined together to start. If we remove any side of the triangle, the fire cannot start. There are some good fires, but there are also bad ones too. A good fire is one that is used carefully and kept under control. A bad fire is one that can get out of control and become dangerous. Which of these fires do you think is a good fire or a bad fire? A fire in a fireplace controlled by a responsible adult. Good fire. A forest fire. Bad fire. A campfire controlled by a responsible adult. Good fire. A house fire. Bad fire. Practice fire safety in our homes. We should have at least one fire alarm on each floor of your home. A smoke or fire alarm is a device that detects when there is a fire and makes a very loud noise to make sure that everybody knows to leave the house as soon as possible. As soon as you hear your alarm sound, you should leave the building as quickly and safely as you can. If you don't already have one, why don't you make a plan with the people that you live with for what to do if there was to be a fire? Never overload sockets. Keep tea towels and cloths away from the cooker and hob. Keep electrics away from water. If you have an electric heater, make sure it isn't covered up and that it is kept away from curtains at all times.
This is all really good advice, Cosmo. Thank you very much. Do you think you could summarise this into some top tips? And also let us know what we should do if a fire was to start.
Absolutely, Jacob. No problem at all. Here goes. Cosmo's top tips. Tip number 1. Don't play with fire. This means don't play with an active fire or with anything that could start a fire, such as matches, lighters and heat sources. Tip number 2. Smoke and fire alarms. Make sure that your smoke alarms are working in your home. It is a good idea to change the batteries in them twice a year. Tip number 3. Don't hide, go outside. If a fire breaks out, it can be really confusing, so it is important that you have a clearly planned escape route for if you should ever need to leave the house because of a fire. This should be a route that gets you out as quickly and safely as possible. Tip number 4. Stay low. If you can see smoke in the house, stay low to the ground as you exit, crawling as quickly as you can to stay away from the smoke. Did you know smoke and poisonous air hurt more people than actual flames do? You will have a smaller chance of breathing in smoke if you stay low to the ground. Tip number 5. Stay outside. Once you are outside, call 999 to alert the fire service immediately and stay outside until the fire has been put out. Do not go back into the building for anything, even if there are other people or pets inside.
Hang on, Cosmo. Should I leave you inside?
Don't worry about me, Jacob. I'm quicker than you are. Here's the proof.
Hey, hang on a minute. Oh yeah, you've got a point. Thanks for showing me up, Cosmo. I need to get to the gym. Okay, anyway, moving on. And let's do this together. Stop, drop and roll. This is a handy way of remembering what you need to do in the unlikely event that any part of your clothing catches fire. Stop what you're doing, drop to the floor and roll around to put those flames out. Stop, drop and roll. Okay, so here's what you need to do. Find yourself a space a little bit like this. I mean, I don't have much space, but I've got enough to run on the spot. And that's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to run on the spot. Now, if you want to make this a little bit more exciting and start doing a funky dance move, like, okay, but you know what I mean? If you want to start making your own version of this, that's absolutely fine. But the important thing is that you're doing something a little bit like this, because eventually you're going to need to stop. Okie dokie. And when you stop, you then need to drop and get down to the floor. So we drop and then roll. Okie dokie. Oh my goodness me. Joe Wicks, eat your heart out. Are you ready? Here we go. It goes like this. Stop, drop, and roll. Oh yeah, I like it. And it might be a good idea as well to cover your face. Okie dokie, your turn is coming up any second, but we really need to make sure that your area is safe. Have a look around you, make sure there isn't anything that you may trip up on, for example, or bang your head on when you go onto the floor when we do the roll part of this, because that's really important as well. For example, I've made sure that Cosmo is out of the way, because sometimes he can be a tripping hazard. So I've given him a cod treat.
Cod treats.
When you've double checked that your area is safe, we are good to go. Okie dokie, are you ready? When you hear the music, you've got to move. But be ready to safely stop, drop and roll. Here we go. Okay, shall we do this together? When the music stops, we stop, we drop and we roll. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. I'm running on the spot. Oh yeah, the funky music. I like it. Maybe you want to do your dance move. I can't really do the dance moves, but I'm trying my best. And I might be making myself look silly, but who cares? Oh, stop, drop, and roll. Oh, whew. It's tiring. It's energetic. It gets you going, and it's really important as well, because if we ever find fire on our body, we need to stop, we need to drop, and we need to roll. Okie dokie? Very good indeed. At this point, you may want to pause the video and do this activity with the people that are in your house or at your school. You can make it into a fun game. Just make sure that you're really careful. I'm pretty tired after that stopping and dropping and rolling. I don't know how Joe Wicks does it. Let's do an activity now then that involves sitting down while still being creative. Okay, here comes our main creative activity, and I'm really excited about it because we get to use our best art skills. Woohoo! So, here's what you need. You need to grab yourself a piece of paper or something that you can draw on. Okay? It could be a scrap piece of paper that you repurpose. That'd be cool. You also need to find some pencils, maybe some colours, maybe some pens. Whatever suits you is absolutely fine. Now between us, Cosmo and I have given you quite a lot of information about fire safety, and it's entirely up to you what you create your poster about. You might try and get 2 or 3 things in there. You might want to focus on one aspect. For example, you might do all 5 of Cosmo's top tips on one poster. Or you could decide to focus on one of them and create that instead. You might want to focus your poster on stop, drop and roll and focus on each stage, each step. Here come some fantastic examples of the type of thing that you might want to create. This one focuses on making a fire exit plan, like me and Cosmo did before. You also have this one here, which focuses on fire alarms. And there's this one too, which tells us that fire moves quicker than we think. So at this point, pause your video and get going with your fire safety poster. When you've finished, you can restart this video and me and Cosmo will be waiting right here for you. Alright then, how did you get on with your posters? I'm certain they're absolutely excellent and I hope I get to see some in the future. Okay, let's move on to our final mini task then, and it's all about helping the birthday boy. We're going to use everything that we have learned throughout this video and put it to good use. We're going to give him some advice and stop him from setting his house on fire with those birthday candles. Here he is, happy as Larry, having a Zoom birthday party. What you need to do is write another note, a little bit like the one you did before to the girl who was putting her finger over that flame. I wonder if anything's changed. I wonder if you add more detail this time, given what you have learned over the course of this video. If it's similar to the one before, that's fantastic, but make sure you've got as much detail in there as possible, because we need to keep him as safe as we can. So, pause your video now and write your second note. You can restart the video when you've done it. Okay, so now you've got your note ready, I'd like you to imagine that you are on the Zoom call with the birthday boy. Imagine that you're on that screen that he's looking at. Shortly, this footage will play again, and it's your job to imagine that you're on that call and you give him some advice. Use the note to help you. The footage lasts for 41 seconds, so that gives you plenty of time to get your advice across. Are you ready? Okie dokie. Let's rewind this footage and get it all set at the beginning. Your cue is in 3, 2, 1, action! Well done everybody, we're sure you gave the birthday boy some really good advice. It's been a very serious topic in this video. Fire safety is really important. We hope you've had some fun along the way whilst you've been learning all about it. That's all from me and Cosmo, and we're really looking forward to seeing you again in the future. Goodbye! Say bye, Cos!
Bye everybody, see you soon!